Hi, and welcome back to Chuck's Tuesdays Taxidermy Tips. Today we're going to go over real quick a better way to bring your deer into the taxidermist. As you notice in this buck, there's about 8 inches of neck meat left in here. It's because the guy never skinned a deer before to have mounted. He didn't want to screw it up, which was a good thing. So he just tubed the deer down as far as he could and then cut off all this neck meat. But that's not necessary to do. There's a simple, quick thing you can do. Okay, most of your deer have a stripe, sometimes light, sometimes darker, straight down the back. That's a good line. You're going to want to go ahead and open your deer up down there. That way you can skin out the neck all the way to the skull, and you can cut it off right at the skull clean. Then at least you'll have all your neck meat all on the carcass, and you'll only end up with the head and the cape. And another thing, there's a membrane between the skin and the meat. That's what I like to call a sweet spot. If you hit that with the tip of your knife and practice skinning your deer that way, you can at least skin your animal a lot cleaner, end up with a lot more meat on the carcass and less on the skin, which I have to flesh off anyway. I want to jump to the other side real quick here, try and work back and forth. Now, as you can imagine, if you had this deer hanging in a tree, this would be a lot easier to do then, and that would be the time to do it. Because as you can see here, we're gaining on it. And that's another thing I'd like to mention. This is what I call a stake. And it's really not necessarily necessary to leave stakes on your hide. They have to come off. And I always hear, well, it was dark, or it was cold, or it was hot, or I was on a hill, or I was drunk, or whatever it is. And that's why it's like that. But it really takes a lot more work to skin your hide. And if you look at the rest of it, look how much meat is on here. The whole thing's dirty. This took effort to do that. And you can just as easily take less effort and do it like this. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with not knowing. A lot of guys never been showed, and that's why we do these tips, to hopefully try and at least get you going in the right direction. Sometimes you can even take and just pull it. So anyhow, and then when you do cut this head off, it's going to be 12 pounds lighter without this neck roast in there. Anyhow, in a future episode, if there's interest, I'd like to actually go over doing a complete skinning job and caping job, but it's going to take more than a couple of minutes, and we've been trying to do most of these tips in a couple of minutes to keep you interested and to keep it moving. So if there's any interest in that, give us an email to the website and let us know at ojaitaxidermy.com, and shoot us an email. We'll respond, and if we get enough requests, we'll actually do longer videos. You can also send in a request if there's some specific thing you'd like to see or a question that you need answered. Please feel free to email me at info@ojaitaxidermy.com. Once again, we thank you for tuning in to Tuesday's Taxidermy Tips.